So in the last day or so, we started to hear a lot from Democrats about an AI bubble. Now, this is something that tech people have been talking about for at least 6 months, but the Democrats have now jumped onto that, and you have to wonder why. Well, because they're out of ideas to attack Donald Trump with. That's what they really were focused on, there was SNAP, there was the ACA or Obamacare, there was Gaza, and everything they wanted to attack Orange Man bad on, well, they're all gone. So now they have to come up with a new thing. That's the AI bubble. But there's a little bit more to this than what they've initially put out. Let's start with Senator Warren. Why is she upset? Well, she's upset because Orange Man bad. He's going to bail out AI companies. I mean, it's nothing like the bailout that's been given to the insurance companies because of Obamacare that has never been fixed. It's been broken since the first day it was written, and we see that it costs, $1.5 trillion a year just to keep it going in the broken form that it is. Not to mention the subsidies that I'll get into in just 1 second. But that's why Elizabeth Warren is upset. It's because Orange Man bad. Mind you, she was one of the leaders trying to inject the United States government into the internet to control what you could see at any given moment. That was the SOPA and PIPA bills a few years back that nobody remembers anymore, but I do, because we covered it then. Elizabeth Warren isn't looking out for you. She wants more control of the internet, of your freedom of speech, and if she can take down Orange Man bad at the same time, she's all for it. Now that brings us to AOC, and a clip that's been going around, because AOC clipped it herself, her team clipped it for her, about her really caring about you in this AI bubble.
I say this because I want to say also on the record that should this bubble pop, and I say this for my colleagues here, should this bubble pop, my colleague from Massachusetts mentioned the level of AI lobbying that occurs here in Congress. Should this bubble pop, we should not be entertaining a bailout. We should not entertain a bailout of these corporations as healthcare is being denied to everyday Americans, as SNAP and food assistance is being denied to everyday Americans, precipitating some of the very mental crises that people are turning to AI chatbots to try to resolve in themselves.
So it sounds like AOC cares about you. She cares about your health care, but she doesn't. She's worried about the spending that happens in Congress, and should we be spending for AI? Well, here's the thing. I didn't hear the same kind of complaint when Obama was bailing out the car industry in America. That was perfectly fine. When he bailed out the banks, many Democrats were right behind him on that. And in fact, they supported him in bailing out the banks. Well, that wasn't just it. Remember, AOC also believes in MMT. That's modern monetary theory. She believes that we can just print money forever. And the fact that that creates infinite inflation, well, she's not worried about that. That's not important because that doesn't affect her. That affects you. But let's really think about this, because this is the same woman who believes that we can build a train going from New York City to Hawaii, yes, across the Pacific Ocean, and she'll build it with your money. Mind you, Democrats in California, they can't even build a train going from San Francisco to LA without infinite money and infinite time. So it doesn't make sense. So she's not really worried about spending money. And this has nothing to do with SNAP, which has its own funding, completely separate. This has nothing to do with healthcare benefits from Obamacare, separate funding. That has nothing to do with AI. No, this has to do with jobs. This has to do with, more importantly, union jobs. You see, AI, as we have seen, has led to layoffs, many of them in union jobs in various industries. And unions donate almost exclusively to Democrats. This is about their funding. This is about money for AOC to run for senator and or for president. That's what this really is about. We're talking about industries like Hollywood, where you see the writers' strike and animators. They're being fired left and right. And who are some of the biggest cheerleaders for the Democratic Party and the progressive movement. That's Hollywood, entertainment, pushing propaganda every day in every form of entertainment for the last 10 years into you and your children. And they donate big to people like AOC and Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. So she's protecting her political future by protecting these companies from AI. It's not about the AI bubble. Yes, it exists. They're not worried about it. They're worried about themselves. They're worried about their profit margins and their power. And you're a secondary thought. That's why she's making an emotional appeal talking about Obamacare that has nothing to do with AI, and why she's talking about SNAP benefits that have nothing to do with AI, nor the funding of that. Remember, Democrats will spend $1.5 trillion at the drop of a hat. They have no problem increasing spending as they did under Obama, as they did under Biden, and massively increase the amount of inflation that affects you, making poor people more poor. This is just an obvious protection of a power grab, and she's counting on the fact that you're not going to stop and think about it. You're going to get wrapped up in those emotions, say Orange Man bad, and donate to AOC along with her special interests and vote for AOC and cheerlead AOC without ever knowing she has no interest in you whatsoever. And AOC, if you think I'm wrong, tell me why.
No soundbites allowed is the name of his game. With a coffee in one hand and his puppy on his lap, cigarettes curling, smoking his political trap. Michael Vass roars through the screen, he flies, painting red and blue skies with his fiery cry. He's the world's watchdog, calling out the bluff. Right-wing swagger, but his heart's pretty tough. Republican dragon with his truthful slight fights the battles unseen in the shadows of the night. From policy to passion, he breaks it all down, giving a voice to the voiceless, wearing his crown. Caffeine-fueled mornings, the smoke curls dance, Puppy at his feet, giving life one more chance. Through algorithms and bias, he cuts straight and clear. Michael's roar echoes in the hemisphere. Michael Vass roars through the screen, he flies, painting red and blue skies with his fiery cry. He's the world's watchdog, calling out the bluff. Right-wing swagger, but his heart's pretty tough. No soundbites allowed is his ultimate creed. A dragon's perspective where facts are the seed. Standing tall on his battlefield of thoughts, guarding the truth that others forgot. Michael Vass roars through the screen, he flies, painting red and blue skies with his fiery cry. He's the world's watchdog, calling out the bluff. Right-wing swagger, but his heart's pretty tough.